Morning, guys, and welcome to the Nu Skin Ops training phone call this morning. My name is Brian McKenna. I'm with the Nu Skin Ops support team. If you guys want to hang out for just about the next 25, 30 minutes, what we're going to be going over today is going to be information on your social networks and the tools that we're providing inside the Nu Skin Ops system to help you guys get in contact with, your friends or even people you may not already know on those social networks of yours. So we're going to have some really great information for you guys, and then we'll show you guys how to set up some authorizations and how to get a couple of things done when it comes to social networks and the different tools that are provided. So getting underway, when you guys first come into the Nu Skin Ops system, you guys are probably going to see, of course, this little simple dashboard. It's the first thing that most everybody sees when we get in there every day. And where we're going to go first off is the Set Up My Site tab. As you guys can see here, it's letting me know that I do not have my social network set up as of yet. If you guys see this big red X on this particular panel, this is kind of your cue to definitely pay attention during this next 25, 30 minutes to see what can I do to set up my system to make sure that I'm making the use of all the tools that are being provided to me. So one of the options that we have is we can certainly click on this little panel, and it's going to bring us into the social networks area of course, the profile. And what we're looking at is a couple of different things within the social networks that I want to talk about real quickly. The first two is going to be the authorization of an auto post application that we have available for Twitter as well as Facebook. The purpose of this application is to help disseminate or push status updates and content out to those social networks, whether that be your Facebook wall or, of course, your Twitter feed, for, of course, all your friends to be able to see those items and hopefully engage with them and interact with them, liking, commenting, retweeting, sharing, those different types of things. Because when they carry out those actions, the people on their friends list is also able to see that. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to show you real quickly what an authorization for Facebook looks like. When I click on Authorize, what's going to happen is it'll either ask me to log into Facebook, or it's going to bring me up to, of course, a page that'll automatically authorize it because I have my Facebook page over here already up. Now, usually when of course, it pops up, you're going to see some symbols and, of course, some pop-ups that are going to look reminiscent of what we're going to be doing, of course, on the social networks. It's going to ask you, hey, do you want to allow this? Do you want it to post to, of course, your friends list? You're going to tell these systems to say okay. And then once they're A-okay, they're going to come back and show you that your authorized buttons have changed states. What you're now looking at is the capability to send a test post or a test tweet to those social networks, and then, of course, the option to deauthorize that if you wish to discontinue the use of the applications. We're going to get into a little bit of how the applications behave here in just a couple of moments, but I wanted to talk to you guys about the major social networks area that we have down here, because it's a little bit different than, of course, the applications themselves. What we're looking at with major social networks right here is we're being able to put in the username that we have on these respective, of course, social networks or social sites. So on Facebook, what we're looking for is your username on that particular platform. And a quick and easy way for you guys to find that information out is going over to, of course, your Facebook. If you come up here and click on your specific name, you're looking at your website just like somebody would on your friends list. Your username is right up here in the address bar after the facebook.com portion of it. So in this case, mine is brian.soundconcepts. So I'm going to copy that information. I'm going to come down in here and I'm going to paste that into, of course, my Facebook box. I'm going to click Save. And then what these actual buttons do is it's not going to be posting anything for you, but on the other side of that token, any communication that you send out from, of course, the Nu Skin Ops system, whether that be an autoresponder or one of your emails, it's going to contain this social media icon button. The purpose of that is the person that you're sending this information to may not be a part of your social networks as of yet. And again, just because of the way that they work, you want to draw in as many new people as possible, because being able to, put impressions on them seeing, of course, your post about the products and the opportunity, their friends list are also given the opportunity to basically engage with that. So every new person that you bring into your social network is almost like bringing their entire friends list with them as well. So what we're going to look at real quickly is what this looks like. So we're going to diverge from the social networks for just a second and show you what it looks like with the social media button programmed on the emails. So we're going to come down here. I'm just going to fill out, of course, the email and hit preview. As you guys can see, this is what the email looks like. Obviously, you guys can put anything you want to in the body of that email, but this is what it looks like when the recipient gets it. So this has got my Facebook button on here. This will give the recipient of that email the capability to click on it and come over to my social network. Now, obviously, if this wasn't my account, there'd be like an add friend button here, a follow button, those different types of options. And that's exactly what you want to happen, especially with your guys' cold contacts. So going back, of course, over into Facebook real quick, or actually back in the new Skin Ops, we're going to go back into my site setting or my profile and go into the social networks area. And what we're going to check out is being able to do the very same thing for LinkedIn. And, of course, to find out the information that you need to, if you click inside the box, we give you a pop-up that tells you specifically what you need to do or where you need to look on that social network to find out what your username is. Now, most people, of course, will come down in here and put their full web address. Like in this case, that was the facebook.com/brian.foundconcepts. You don't need that. You just need the usernames for these particular websites. So same thing with Twitter. We'll tell you that you need to log into your Twitter account, go to the settings and account to find out what your username is. You guys can see that real quickly if I go here. Account, and then it's saying my username is testing_SC. So if I put that up here in this little Twitter box, an email is now going to have both a Facebook icon and a Twitter icon for somebody to come find me on my social networks. The next thing that we have down here is going to be the additional networks over here. The additional networks give us the capability to also put in usernames for a large amount of other networks. Like some of the ones that are on the up and coming is definitely a lot of people use Pinterest. A lot of people use, of course, Google+, which is right here. We've also got YouTube. You would want to put in like your YouTube channel name if you guys have one of those with your own testimonials or supplemental information that you feel would be pertinent to, of course, somebody to look at before making any decisions on products and whatnot. Now, this is basically just setting up some different items so that way you can use the social networks to your guys' advantages. We've also got some other cool tools in here that is really going to make your guys' life easy by being able to share this information. So first of which, just to recap, Major Social Networks, that programs any of your guys' outgoing emails, whether they be autoresponders or one-click emails that you guys are sending out right on the spot. Those are going to include any of your social media icon buttons for somebody to come find you. And then we've also set up, of course, the applications for Twitter and Facebook to automatically post. So what we're looking at here, let me get back over to Twitter and everything. I want to show you guys where it shows that we have that application. So if I come right here, it's going to show me all the applications I have authorized. So there's my new skin application. Same thing, of course, with Facebook. You can come see the application by going into account settings. Over here on the left-hand side, click on Apps, and then you can see, of course, the My New Skin application. That's how you can double-check to make sure that you've got your authorization set just correctly on those. Now we're going to get to a little bit of the more in the meat and potatoes of what the applications are able to do when they push the content out to, of course, your Facebook or your Twitter feed. So where we want to do that is actually underneath the Social Tools tab right here at the top of our New Skin Ops page, and we can click on that first option for Auto Post. This page could take a couple of seconds for you guys to load. It's pulling in a ton of information, all the categories, all the posts that you're able to use, that the system uses to push out with the automatic applications. So it'll come up for us in here in just a couple of seconds. There it goes. And then basically what we're looking at right here is how to tell that application how to behave by the auto post settings panel. So as you guys can see, just by default, without making any changes, these applications are going to behave by posting how often, once per day. What type of auto post type campaign am I doing? Is it going to be random or is it going to be pre-selected and custom? You know, am I picking what categories it needs to pull from? Then we have our ratios, which is first post how many generic pieces of information before posting anything new skin specific. Now, of course, we would implore you guys to come in here and find out what your happy medium is going to be. Me, as a person, I like being able to be sure that I've got something going out about the products or, of course, the opportunity, either once a day or, every other day or something of that nature. So usually what I'll go with is something in the realm of going like every 6 hours, and then usually going into a situation of doing 5 generic posts for every one company-specific post. What that's going to do is it's going to give me a lot of generic information and a lot of food for thought for people to be able to see on my Facebook wall and their news feeds, and then it's also going to give me one company-specific post every other day. So that way I'm not, spamming my friends list or anything like that, if that's any of your guys' concerns. The next thing that we have down here is the auto post content. This is actually where you're going to find the different categories that you're able to choose for that application to pull its content from. So we do have some Spanish categories. We're always looking to, of course, probably increase the foreign ones that we have available or the languages. But more importantly, just the English ones that we have is we got a famous failures category. And just to kind of give you guys some information about that, a famous failure is basically the Wright brothers were brave enough to follow their dreams. If I blow this up for you guys, you could probably see it a little bit better. But it says, after numerous attempts at creating flying machines and many failed prototypes, the Wright brothers finally created a plane that could get airborne and stay there. And then basically the famous failure series, if you've never failed, then you've never tried anything new, is basically the motto behind that one. So let me scale down my site again so we can look at the other course categories. You've got generic health facts. You've got generic information about opportunities in our industry, generic quotes and industry facts, motivational quotes, Own Your Life, which is kind of just a real cool picture gallery showing the difference between some of us, daily jobs versus, somebody else's, commute to work or something. Let me get one up here. So we look at, here's the comparison of your office chair versus my office chair, which happens to be a hammock and an iPad. So it just draws comparisons about being able to be in this, a very, very awesome business model that most of us are in. The next thing that we have, of course, is just generic weight loss articles, just to kind of help people keep an eye on, being healthy, making good decisions, and things like that. And then, obviously, we've got the company-specific post categories, which is a new skin, product, and opportunity. So, as you guys can see, if I chose that one, let me pull up one of the company-specific ones. And you can see that ageLOC is now a billion-dollar brand. In just 3 years, ageLOC has reached impressive heights. As our CEO recently said, ageLOC is now a billion-dollar brand, and that's from Truman Hunt. So, it's got lots of information that specifically brands the post as being something dealing with new skin. And, of course, that's an attempt to create some dialogue and some interest amongst the people that are on your Facebook or the new people that you're pulling in on Facebook or Twitter, for that matter, and being able to, of course, say, hey, here's my website address. Go check out this information. Go check out, of course, these amazing products and what have you. So that's basically just real quickly the gist of just the auto post settings. You, again, set up those authorizations either through this page right here, or you could do it again through that profile where we were at earlier. So you can see I still got the authorizations in place. I can either send out the test tweets or deauthorize those. You can also see any of your social media history. Since I just authorized these for the first time with you guys on this webinar, what we're looking at is no social post history for this account yet. But basically, over, I'd say probably in about 5 minutes or so, I'll probably have my first post go through as the chronicalization job pushes that information out. Now, you don't have to wait necessarily on that application to push that content out to, of course, your Facebook or to your Twitter page. You can manually post these items as well, and that's just through this manual post tab right here once you're already on social tools. And let's say I wanted to post something specific from New Skin, a product and opportunity campaign. I'll click on that, and then it's going to give me all the posts that deal specifically, of course, with New Skin, or brand the post with New Skin information. So if we look at this one real quickly, you can see that, of course, it's got the ad image. It says New Skin's ageLOC Galvanic Body Spa. Your skin deserves it. So if I wanted to put that on there, I could just click on that little Facebook button, and that's going to automatically push it to my Facebook. Now, just to show you guys what it looks like, I'm going to view it for you guys. Well, Let me click there, and then there it basically is. It's got the information, and of course, this being posted, somebody's going to be like, "Hey, what is this age-lock galvanic spa? You know, what are you talking about? What does it do? You know, what kind of benefits? You know, tell me more about it," kind of thing. And that's the kind of course, dialogue that we want these auto posts to have for you guys. Now, to kind of give you guys, of course, some information about that is how Facebook essentially works. Is when you're posting stuff to your Facebook page, what we call that scenario is called an impression. An impression is basically a post of yours appearing on your friends' news feeds or on their walls when you've posted it yourself, or in this case, the application has. Just to kind of give you guys an idea, an impressions on average, depending on your guys' social network size, you're looking on having an average of 340 to 500 impressions plus per post. So if you're doing, you know, company-specific post every other day, and you have the capability to have impressions of almost 500 per post, then you're looking at in a week's time possibly being able to have that ad or that specific, of course, post viewed by, you know, 1,500, 1,600, you know, 2,000 people. And that's just within your social networks for the impressions. That doesn't include it webbing out from there and somebody on your social network liking it, commenting on it, I should say, you know, sharing it themselves on their own Facebook news feeds or their walls, and then ultimately retweeting that as well. The more that that happens and those actions are taking on these posts, of course, the more that those numbers, you know, begin to kind of, you know, grow from there, just because of how it kind of doubles out from every time that you reach a social network, somebody in that social network hits a like or something like that, and then, of course, it's exposed to everybody on that social network or in that person's Facebook page. You know, all their friends can see the interaction that they took, the like that they put, or the share that they have. So really, really helpful information, of course, to try and get the people out there that are already on the social networks and basically spending a good portion of their days while they're either at work, while they're at home. A lot of people are looking for opportunities. A lot of people are looking for products, you know, through these social networks, just because that's where they're more comfortable kind of being at. So why not be able to, of course, help yourselves out and get some information out there, so that way you're creating some dialogue and hopefully bringing in tons of new revenue from people that you might not otherwise reach. Like I said, the auto post applications are great. It's a super way to set something and forget it. You know, you can always come in here and make any changes that you wanted to when it comes to the actual application itself. So if you wanted to exclude a category, just go back in there and uncheck it, and I'll let you guys see that in just a second. We'll uncheck and check some categories. And then what we're also going to be talking about here in just a couple of moments too is the capabilities of being able to push some items from our digital media library too. We're not dealing just with, of course, the categories for the applications. There's some other cool tips and tricks we got in store for you today. So obviously, if we're back on the auto post settings for the applications, these are all those categories. Let's say I no longer want famous failures. I just uncheck that category. It tells me that it updated my social post settings, and then I'm good to go. I don't have to worry about the next post possibly coming out of this category. So feel free to come in here, play around with it. Certainly, if you have any issues, of course, authorizing your social networks, contact your technical support representatives. They're more than capable, of course, helping you guys get these set up. Now, the next thing I want to show you when it comes to, of course, the social networks is a little bit of a different thing that we've had kicking around, of course, the ops system for quite a while now. And it's kind of an overlooked feature that I feel doesn't get quite enough love. So what we're going to be looking at today is, of course, the different types of digital media content that you're able to send out. A lot of you guys are already familiar with this information by sending it out through emails and what have you. But what a lot of people don't know is you can actually directly share this information, like all these great videos. I don't have to ask somebody directly to come to my website and send them out an email and be like, hey, watch this video. After this video page loads for me, I'll show you guys real quickly kind of a cool trick. Well, if it loads for me. It doesn't want to load for me, but basically it's going to be the same on any one of these tabs real quickly. So the presentations, videos, web pages, PDFs, it's all going to be the same. I just wanted to show you guys with an actual video. So this is one of the presentations that I've just mockingly made up in, of course, the back office for these purposes. So what we're looking at is the capability to email this out, which a lot of you guys are already familiar with, or you have the capability to directly share this information out on your Facebook pages, Twitter, and then, of course, a lot of these other social networks as well if you wanted to post it out to your Google+, Pinterest, what have you. But real quickly, just to do it on Facebook, if I click that Facebook icon, it's going to give me a prompt to add in a comment. And then basically that's that presentation video and any other applicable information that I want about it. So you guys can certainly create your own presentations that contains any, combination of the videos that you guys like that you feel is your 1-2 punch. And then after you make that presentation, you can actually, like I said, add that to Facebook without having to worry about it. So if we go and check out Facebook real quick. Yep. And you'll see that, on the wall, I've got tons of stuff that constantly post. And again, like I said, guys, you want to be able to do this because you're going to be able to reach people that you might not otherwise had access to just by being able to set up a few couple of course features like those social media icons that we were talking about, setting up the auto post applications. I myself, if I can get into a system, and there's a lot of ways that I can set something up to where I don't have to be over managing it, I don't have to spend the time worrying about it, then I can go do the other things that are important to me. You come inside, of course, the Nu Skin Ops system, and you're able to, of course, authorize those, set what kind of categories that you want for the generic information, have that company-specific information come in, and then, of course, just set it and forget it. You don't have to worry about it. You can start pulling, of course, those impressions, start having people like and, comment, share those particular posts, and just kind of see, of course, the new contacts and leads roll in from that particular point. So that's going to be basically the information on your guys' social networking. Again, there's a couple of different ways just to recap how to get in and authorize those applications. You can certainly come up to the My Profile tab, select Profile. On the left-hand side, you've got that Social Networks tab, which is where we were originally. Again, if it's, you're pretty new to the system and you want to get directly to that point, you can come down here to the Set Up My Site tab. And you guys remember at the beginning or the top of the phone call, this was a big old red X. That's not the case anymore. It's actually all filled out and we're ready to, of course, start using these particular features. I can also click on that to go right back to that same area to check out the social network. So if I need to make a change, send out a test post, make sure it's still working, I need to deauthorize it, whatever the case may be. Now, the one thing I will say when it comes to Facebook application authorizations, the one thing that you guys will be mindful of is Facebook does require a reauthorization to happen usually in about every 50 to 60 days. We usually like to quote 50 days so that way you can do the reauthorization before basically that token expires. Now, the reason why Facebook, of course, puts these authorization tokens and expiration dates on them is so somebody doesn't necessarily set up a bunch of auto post tools and applications to a Facebook page and then never log into it ever again. If they didn't put those expiration dates on there, then potentially that account could sit there and post itself until the end of time, or Facebook decided to close down, of course, its servers. So that's why they put it on there, is just to kind of curb that action from somebody setting up something and completely forgetting about it and then not ever administrating their own account ever again. So again, you'll want to make sure that you come in here and reauthorize about every 50 days or so. A quick, easy way to do this is you can just click the deauthorize button. It's going to refresh my page for me. And then I've got that solitary authorize button. I can actually just click on that again. It's going to take me through those same steps. Or since I've already got the application on my Facebook, it's just going to come back up and say your Facebook authentication has been set up. So what I did in, of course, that little process of just making those two little button clicks is it just basically re-upped my authorization token. I now have another 50 to 60 days without having to worry about it. So when I say set it and forget it, for the most part, that's 100% correct, but there's like 2% of that where you're going to have to do some of the legwork on your own. And like I said, that's just super simple, coming in here, clicking on deauthorize, letting the website reload, then clicking on the authorize button, and then bam, you're done already. So basically, that's going to be the information on the social networks. Again, guys, I cannot stress how important it is to use these particular tools. I know some of us old school marketers would have just died to have this kind of access or technology, earlier in the day. But now that, everybody's online, everybody's accessing social networks, it just makes sense to, of course, also be a part of that and let people know about the different product lines and the benefits that they have, not only to their health, but their beauty, those different types of things. And then obviously the opportunity. Let them know how fantastic it is to be a new skin distributor. So that's probably going to close out today's phone call. Again, if you guys have any questions or problems with the authorization of course, the applications, contact your new skin technical support representative, and they'll be able to get you guys taken care of. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and close out, of course, today, stop the recording. I will get this directly over to New Skin Corporate, and then they'll be able to get that up for you guys and be able to watch the replay. So appreciate all you guys for showing up this morning. We appreciate it, and you guys have a good and safe week.